In the previous video,
5,000 likes, and I'm shooting a review on some nutritions that you will write in the comments. Hi friends, hello everyone, today is June 19th and this is my first day of a new experiment. Under the previous video you have collected 5,000 likes, for which I want to say a huge thank you. The asset you have collected there is fierce. I like your feedback in the comments, and in general that's why you're now watching a new video in which I again put a lot of money in order to you, my subscribers, to watch. If there is any sense at all from any supplements that are sold in sports stores, and as we understood from the two previous videos that I reviewed on the sport pit, on the nutrition, there was a pretty good boost from the gainer, and there was also an excellent boost from creatine in the form of improved straight indicators. That is, those two supplements were working, at least those brands that I used. If you suddenly haven't seen this video, to be sure to follow the link in the description. And also now somewhere here there will be behind one of these two videos, be sure to watch and comment. But in this video the requirements are still the same, 5,000 likes. I then shoot a review on a new some kind of nutrition, but as usual I don't need to write any nonsense like there are 30 days on methane or something like that. I review such, ordinary dietary supplements that are not anabolic steroids. For example, it can be this animal flakes or many other advices, dozens of them, at least from the common ones. Right, and most likely I will choose a topic for the next video from the most barked comments. Let's get started. And yes, by the way, in this video you still haven't seen that protein same to me. This is in a box. Very in size. Yes, gold standard came to me. Again, the Optimum nutrition brand, which just cost some cosmic money, but more on that later. By the way, I bought a taste of Rocky Road. If we proceed from the reviews, this whole line of gold standard, then this taste is one of the most delicious. In fact, it already smells like half of it woke up here, but it seems like we see this stack here that like it wasn't opened. And these are the characteristic of this protein. Here we see that for one scoop we have 120 calories, 24 grams of protein. Well, basically everything else I don't understand any. For best results, use this shaker 30 or 60 minutes after your workout, like this. Okay, among other things, there are 5.5 grams of BCA here, and there are 72 servings in total. I will use 2 of these scoops during a day. Accordingly, this, as usual, will be enough for me for only a month. Speaking of price, here 2.27 kilograms of the mass of this substance, and it cost me about 130 bucks. It's so expensive. Conclusion: nutrition is expensive. Based on 3 videos already, we understand that in order to simply be equipped changed for a month, you need at least 100 bucks in each supplement. That's half to 1,000. And if you, for example, beat just for a month their conditional protein and creatine from Optimum inside, which is only here, you will already be throwing off 200 bucks. Well, not just once a month, of course, but once every 6 weeks. That's for sure. Many people have such a salary in Kazakhstan. Now we will look at my anthropometric data, measure how much I have there in total. I'm a little dry. Now you will see it. I didn't lose much weight, and among other things, let's look at my personal feeling after taking this protein. I will tell you what it tastes like, whether it's really good or not. Of course, there won't be much to compare, but once upon a time. About 5 years ago, I already had experience with protein, and perhaps this is probably the 3rd jar in my life that I use specifically about protein. And anyway, to be honest, I almost never drank any sports supplements. So friends, this is how I look from the front. This from the side. That's from behind. Well, that's how my legs look like. Overall, I haven't changed much. I just slightly reduced this subcutaneous fat and tanned myself. I remind you that my rules starts at 10 and my left hand is exactly 40 centimeters. That's it. So that's you take 40 centimeters. My right arm is also 40 centimeters. My waist is this stage is 75.5 centimeters. I hope you can see shoulders 130 centimeters. Chest 112 centimeters. This in principle are still the same indicators as they were at the end of the month. Now in principle it is also 62 centimeters. All the indicators are the same. That's it. These forearms, they were 33.5 centimeters Now the forearms are 34 centimeters. Of course, the most interesting thing is the weight. Let's take a look at the weight, and already from it we will step. The weight at the moment is 88.5 kilograms. There are my indicators of the first day of my protein intake experiment. We will walk away from them. In general, I'm not so far away from the results that I achieved thanks to gainer months and creatine months. In general, I'm not so far away from the results that I achieved thanks to the gainer months and creatine months. Let's see what the protein will do. I will tell you about how my digestive tract affects this protein, about how it easily or not easily drunk, what it tastes like, and of course, among other things, this month I have in goal in training. I want to see again how much my straight indicators will change. But in this video, they will not be connected there with the squat, with the standard or something like that. In this video, I want to up my biceps lifts and just bench press. I want to up the number of times. That's it. I still can go 20 times when I do bench press. I couldn't press more than 20. It was 20 times, I moved out only once. Accordingly, we will proceed from this as a whole in this experiment. I think we will see each other only today on the Thursday of experiment, compare before and after, and at the end there will already be results during using of this nutrition after a whole month. Well, go test the taste. Optimum nutrition. Unpacking is my favorite. Oh, it opened easily. It smells nice. Listen, but it opened so easily, right, in general, as if it had been opened before. I wonder if it's really possible to put it back together as well. Okay, it's kind of unrealistic to put it back together, but it's open very simply. Look, it has such a rather loose structure, like sand. As you know, as castles were building in childhood, it looks like something right on this sea sand. But I really didn't build on the sea, but on a construction site. Like it if you're happy. Okay, in short, here is such a miser. It smells, very interesting. Not disgusting, not chemical. Now I will try to write how it smells when you go into a grocery store. Such, ordinary stalls in store, usual such extensions, and you go into such a confectionery department or dressed. There they sell just sweets, and there is such a rich smell of some kind of biscuit baking, while in general it resembles some kind of mixture of waffles, chocolate, nut, chocolate and biscuit. That's something like that. I will drink one scoop at the time. For example, 300 milliliters of liquid. It's only very soft in texture. The powder is straight. Listen, I remember that many years ago my mother bought me protein. This is it. This is already an application. And well, there was such a gift. I really wanted to try. I thought that I would grow up from this like everyone else. You probably, maybe even some of you who are watching now have such people. Here, of course, I didn't grow up them. But when this protein was already worth a shitload, I just didn't have a gold standard. Gold standard was looks at that time, in my opinion. This is still a suit. Well, in the sense that it was difficult to afford it then, and once in my life I tried to finish it for me. Some kind of protein here. I even, in my opinion, still have a jar of left somewhere there in sugar in it. Well, I'm not around, maybe I will show you more later. When it was very expensive, now it's worth a shitload, as if, I don't know, $130. Imagine what your salary should be. $100 for him. There is also $200. They're just for that, and you still need to eat, and you also need a subscription to the gym. And what happens there? 3.2% milk, not advertising. This is also not advertisement. Думаю, достаточно. I think that's enough. The first test is for the presence of these lumps and other things. Also okay, the first test.
Хуета.
Well, smell what it smells like first, but the smell of milk overshadowed the protein. So in principle, there is almost no smell by the way. You can also drink on water, but I'd rather add a little calories here, so I'll drink it with milk. So well, there are basically no lumps left. But this is logical because there is only one scoop here. Well, let's taste it. It tastes like heavily diluted chocolate cocktail. Well, listen, it tastes nice. There is no such really chemical shade that is. It's not for nothing that I was looking for taste of Rocky Road. In principle, it will be possible to read later what is in its composition, because the name is so inconfessible. Rocky is like Rocky Road, the part of the rock, I don't know, but it really tastes nice. This is probably one nicest proteins I have ever drunk. Also, as I have already told you, I don't have any super cool experience, but even if we compare it with the gainer, which I devoted gone just during that experiment to try as many as 3 flavors, you can say that this is much more pleasant to taste. Well, of course, these are different brands, and yet there is something inside, say, the iPhone in world of nutrition, but everything is very pleasant. I put probably 9 out of 10, why not? Now let's see how much it will satiate me. Among other things, it will be necessary to try it in the shaker, and we will see if it mixed well or not, because many guys began to write under to the previous video about gainer like, yeah, but you try 4 measuring scoops into a half of liter shaker, pour water and into a half of liter water and try to stir. Of course, there is no change at all. I tried to do this, I only 2 scoops once because I drank 2 scoops in the morning, and it was awful. There were such lumps that say the appetite disappears, not from the fact that he fed you, from the fact that just these lumps are incompressible with powder mixed with the general test. It's just awful. So we check this protein in the shaker and take a look. It's normal for him to interfere this or not. So far everything is very optimistic. See you at the end of the month. So friends, this is how I looked on the pump. I just had a little workout and now it's time to drink my protein. Now I will dilute with water. Let's see what happens. Here is the kettle I boiled it. Okay, I'm just kidding. In fact, he just sweetened himself. Let's see through this. It will work. I hope the water is normal. I will trust the coaching room. Thought I wouldn't. According to the instructions, it's necessary to shake for 2 minutes or something. I already have very little lumps at all, most importantly. Let the air out of the shaker, otherwise it may be open from the pressure. On water it tastes less pleasant. On milk it certainly tastes better, but still not bad. I did the bench press weekly today for 10 times. Apparently because I did it in the end of the working day. That's why it affected me so much. I forgot to mention the most important point, saturation. As such, I did not feel. Well, of course, there are no carbohydrates and so on, but in general, there was no saturation. And moreover, I was already hungry 3 hours after taking the protein. That's it. It's already 8:30 at the moment. I took it for the first time at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and already at 6 o'clock in the evening, I wanted to eat again. So, in general, it doesn't not help in any way in terms of such loading. Well, nothing. It's already better than its absence. And this is an additional load of protein. In short, during this month I had only 6 bench press workouts. I did a bench press every 5 days, but I won't say that it was any good. I rather felt stagnant mixing with regression. And the fact is that I didn't feel any magic from the protein. On the contrary, I have seen my weight on the scales getting smaller. And of course, this is directly proportional to the drop in my stride. And so friends, at the moment we will find out my weight. No matter how strange it may be. These are the few kilograms that I have thrown off at the moment. I am with my phone in my hand, in clothes, and it's 87.7. There are the 3 or 4 kilograms that have gone in this period of time after the gainer and creatine. They really decide. It's really decide. These 4 kilograms of probably not very high quality mass and fat gave me a very good boost, completely in general sense of self and in the fact that I felt much better during the training itself. That's it. I didn't have any such comfortable feelings. The power once went much better and I really felt it. There was a moment when I came to training and generally look 100 kilograms and generally press 100 kilograms 7, 6, 5 and 5 times, and you just think how far it is. Even from the results I had in previous videos, also I didn't change anything in split. In the biceps, on the contrary, I just started doing lifting barbells, standing up, and results went more cheerfully. But in general, look like this. On the left, I was doing a bench press at the end of my previous experiment, and on the right, you can see how I'm pressing now. It was my best result in this month, only 12 times, almost crushed. Yeah, believe me. 12 times only. I don't know. Protein, in short, I don't know. But protein, it's not imba. That's how I train without missing. I do it consistently. Regression has gone and there is no overtraining. The pain was gone. Nothing hurts. Here is 15, 12, 15, 12. It doesn't go anymore. Meanwhile, bicep lifts become more stable and I began to lift 80 kilograms cleaner than I did before the start of the experiment. Even though I still haven't reached 100 kilograms in biceps lifting, so these are the results. Oh yeah, if anything protein is protein, it's not chemistry. Well, you never know, suddenly someone didn't know. Guys, I hung 90 kilograms on the barbell. To be honest, it doesn't go at all. 90. I weighed 87 kilograms myself. If everything is removed, I will now do with cheating. No, only with cheating, but it's a terrible technique. It's still not going yet, while the biceps is weak. Well, sorry, I weigh less than this barbell. Hi friends, hello everyone, today is July 19th, and which means that a whole month has passed since the beginning of my experiment, in which I drank protein from Optimum Nutrition Gold Standard. It's not all over yet, there is so much of it left there. To be honest, I have been sick of this smell for all this time, so it looks like shit there. I can be seen approximately like this. Well, also, by the way, it's fine. So I taking about the fact that this experiment is finally over. Now we will see what happened to my body after all months of using such a rather expensive protein. In fact, there is a little good news, but now about everything in order. Let's get started. I won't torment you right away. Let's get down to how I look. Great, of course. Okay, so I look from the front. Like this from the side, well, from behind. Something like that, and accordingly my legs look like this. That's somehow how they look in general, and so visually you saw me. Now let's take measurements. Here is the ruler. I think we are all done. The legendary line, which was with me through this channel. I will leave the hertz here. Both a new one, upgraded. 40.5 centimeters. Also 40.5 centimeters, where 40 centimeters became 4.5 back and forth. Again 131 centimeters. I increased a little by 1 centimeter. It seems to me that my shoulders have increased even more because I went to boxing, but more on that later too. If by the way we are interested in the topic, when I will shoot you a video of how I have transformed in a month of boxing. But the fact is that they are filming boxing training. I do not know how my coach will react to this, but put the likes and 5,000 likes and you see. I will release a video about boxing. The chest was 112 centimeters, now the chest is 114 centimeters. 2 centimeters have been added. The most interesting thing is the waist. The waist is exactly 75 centimeters. Forearms 35 centimeters. The left leg is 62 centimeters, also 62 centimeters. I think you can see here. In general, these are the results of measurements. There have been very small changes, even a lot. I didn't lower my waistline. And no most interesting thing is the weight. It's currently have 87.2 kilograms. Well friends, these are the changes I have made for months. This is how my anthropometric date looked before, this is how they began to look after. If we look at this date, we will see in principle that there have been strong and drastic changes. But according to my purely personal feeling, I noticed that I was somewhat dried out despite the fact that I didn't even change anything in my own diet. That's it. I also ate something 5 times, something twice, didn't not follow, not for calories. I ate same way I ate while taking a gainer, the same way I ate while taking creatine. I also ate taking protein. And what did it show? The fact that somewhat visually I have changed a little. I think the subcutaneous fat is gone. I'm a little dry. Perhaps the muscles have become more prominent against the background of a lower level of subcutaneous fat, and my weight has dropped accordingly. At the time of my peak weight, when I actually weighed 92 kilograms or 93, to be honest I no longer remember this number, but I remember that I weighted consistently above 90. I woke up even on an empty stomach, even if I wasn't hungry, I consistently weighted more than 90. At the moment my weight is 87 kilograms. Anyway, it's gone fat and most likely some kind of puffiness and water. Besides that, what can I say about protein? While taking protein without this month, I won't say that I felt any boost from using it. That's it, despite the fact that I drank it regularly. Drank it according to the regime, I did not feel anything at all. That I wasn't drinking it. I didn't feel any boost in my muscle growth. I didn't feel this boost in the sense that like I drank it and I don't want to eat. There was no such thing. I didn't feel full. I didn't feel anything at all. Moreover, during this month, getting up on the scales, I saw how my weight changed. 88 kilograms, then 87, and 5, then 87. When he fell to 85 in general. At the moment I picked up something again, I began to eat a little more, just simply because on this protein I really began to lose weight. My weight, I just see the number that I had my maximum, so to speak, there is 90. Plus I see after a couple of weeks how I already somehow weighed 87 kilograms. I'm like, what's the big deal? Why I'm starting to weigh so little? I don't think that, of course, there is a direct connection with protein, but for me, as a person who bought it for the purpose of gaining muscle mass to see how the scales show fever and fever number, for me, of course, it would be a shock. And I didn't want to see this, and I would like to keep in shape and keep weight on the scales. It's clear that it's possible. What now some experts of nutrition, gurus, or everything else will start telling me that like it's protein. Like, did you think you were eating protein and that's it? You don't want to eat and so on. Or did you think that you were going to gain weight now? It's like not a gainer, it's like not maltodextrin, and everything else is not there for you. It doesn't make you smell up so much and so on. This is understandable, but still, as a person, I think most of you who came to my channel were very interested in show much I would gain, and I typed nothing. That's it. I drank everything according to the instructions. Sometimes when there was no time, I immediately fell asleep, and the end of the day, 2 meters at once, drank everything. There were no problems at all, but still there was some heaviness, some taste. Here I was trying to knock down this taste of sweetness, some kind of incomprehensible. That wasn't the case after the gainer. Moreover, when you see an increase after a gainer, while at least they're on the scales, yeah, at least it feels like you're so cheerful. You don't seem to want to eat, but once you don't see any of this after protein, you wake up, you really had breakfast in the morning, some time has passed, you think, damn, you need to drink protein. You are so reluctant to start it. And just like that, the only thing that really helped me was that I was shooting a video about it. And just like that, the only thing that really helped me was that I was shooting a video about it. But nothing else held me back. Here, I am sure that even if I hadn't drank it this month, most likely, plus or minus everything, would have remained the same. I have been trained hard. I have been trained very hard. Moreover, at the end of the experiment, I also went to boxing. But it's generally just outside the experiment. I went for myself, and I won't say that it gave me some kind of effect even after boxing. Almost I had only 2 training sessions in boxing. They write it's desirable to drink after training. There is according to their research. Well, you drink after training. While I was driving boxing training at home, I already want to eat. I really want to eat. There is no saturation. You lie down under the barbell. I tried to increase the bench press, but it didn't work. Well, as you can see, you have already seen it from the experiment, the fact that I didn't not press when I didn't do 20 times. I'm sure if I continue to drink creatine, for example, I would have to up my results and against the background before this protein intake, but I didn't feel anything. Perhaps this is purely my opinion, but it seems to the most of all that this is just commerce and nothing more. If you just eat, as they even wrote to me, it's under a gainer or casein, in my opinion, they didn't write that either. Yes, if you spend this amount of money that you have been here on ordinary food, then the profit will be much more, and most likely in this case with this protein. I agree, most likely this is an overtaid template bullshit. I personally have this impression. Perhaps you will have a different impression, but nevertheless, you have seen my results for months. Of course, if we proceed from the date of the economy of this product, if you drink 1 scoop a day, they are 2, as I did, then I think this jar will be enough for you in general for about months, for 2, then 2.5, and of course if you drop $130 for 2.5 months, then okay, it will seem to you that in principle a normal amount of money. But again, I will tell you that using 2 scoops for 30 days, I did not see any increase. I don't think you will see any gain by consuming just 1 scoop. It's clear that if you look at in front the point of view of eating, when about 200 or 250 grams of cottage cheese you need to stuff yourself through force and so on, all these physiological moments that it's easier to drink a cocktail than to eat, but damn, that's honestly not worth it. That's honest, that's my personal opinion. Yes, some there I even have an increase. You can see it by centimeters. Some there where there may be a waist decreased, but when you have a goal to gain straight, you need to gain weight anyway. Even if it's dirty, you will gain straight in parallel with weight gain. So friends, this is how I got the video. Of course, it turned out to be more conversational. You didn't see some huge amount of training there, but I think that the results that I had at the beginning of this experiment, the results that I got at the end of the experiment, plus my visual, give it clear to you that makes such a very overpriced, expensive protein in general. I would say it's one of the most experienced protein. This is still some more expensive. I found it on the internet, and shops in general cost me more than 215 bucks. You can definitely give 200 bucks for 2 kilograms of protein. I didn't think it will work much better than this one. Perhaps there will be some impurities in it, but in general, I think that a good quality gainer and creatine is must-have that will help you ride hard, as everything else according to the type of protein or the same BCA, but more on that later. If you want to review on BCA, I will also take it off for you. Perhaps I changed my mind after reviewing a certain BCA product, but I will tell you by my feelings. Starting from past experience, there are no feelings and there is no boost from these supplements, unlike creatine and gainer. So that's it, friends. There are the results I got in this video. Be sure to put your likes, 5,000 likes under this video, and I shoot the next review on some new supplement and use it for all months. And when I tell you about what's happening to my body. And so, in general, I will tell you that this protein did not create any fierce discomfort. That's it. It's easy to drink, but this one taste is boring. Be sure to write comments on which product to review in the next video. And as always, I wish you to be in shape and develop professionally. See you soon!